Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Marcel. This is the Irnieracing YouTube channel. Tucker Carlson is in Canada, guys, and we're going to talk about that today and look at his Edmonton speech. And the Liberals MPs and their gang are running scared that Tucker is in Canada talking to the people. It's so freaking hilarious, guys. Here is Pablo Rodriguez. You all remember this guy. Calls on Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre to condemn Tucker Carlson's visit to Canada. Can you believe they're asking for somebody to condemn Tucker's visit to Canada? After they invited a literal Nazi into, not just Canada, but into the parliament, and they all gave him a standing ovation. Like, do I really have to play that footage? Because I don't want to have to go look for it. But that's how crazy these lunatics are.
And they let Chrystia Freeland still have her job, even though she's lied about
Yeah, and Chrystia Freeland lies about her grandfather's roots of actually, like, supporting and helping and becoming a Nazi. But
she's okay to stay.
But what's even worse is actually Chrystia Freeland keeps going to the WEF, and she's on the board of the WEF. The most logical, obvious conflict of interest. Anyways, let's go look at this fool of Pablo.
You brought up Pierre Poilievre's name in your comment. I mean, is this going to be your strategy effectively going forward? Is tying Pierre Poilievre to Trump?
He wants to be prime minister of this country. What happened last night is not acceptable. Is he going to condemn that? If he wants to run for prime minister, he should have the courage to condemn those. It's not acceptable.
So that's going to be your strategy?
I mean, what do you make of the fact that there is an audience for it and for their perspective?
Well, as I said in French, the extreme right politics, don't ask the question if it's coming to Canada. It's already here.
Is this
and they're bringing it.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Extreme right politics. It's coming to Canada. Tucker is already here. Like, oh, this is what we're dealing with in Canada, guys. These fools. What else can I say? We're all thinking it. Absolutely insane in the membrane that he even has the audacity to say that the Pierre Poilievre should condemn him. I mean, Pierre Poilievre already made a big mistake in condemning Christine Anderson. I don't think he's stupid enough to do that. Because the public opinion is behind the Tucker and the people like Christine Anderson and Tucker's, I don't know. Christine Anderson's huge though around the world, but so is Tucker. I guess Tucker's bigger in terms of everybody knows about him. Certainly the Americans. Here is an excellent example. I shared this poster just earlier. Never in our history did Canadians have to endure a more corrupt and incompetent group of self-entitled imposters. Suck them in, guys. There we go. We got Trudeau, we got Freeland, Yegmit, and the Minister of Environment. Gilbert, something, like whatever, is Gilberstein. And speaking about Freeland, Chrystia Freeland, Tucker has some words about her.
But I didn't think that she was as malicious and cold as I now believe she is until I saw the video of David Menzies from Rebel News. And so when you're often approached by people as I walk into buildings with questions, how would I feel if someone approached me and asked a question, even if I sure don't like, and my security team threw him against a wall and put him in handcuffs? I would say, you stop that immediately. I could not, as a matter of conscience, allow a man to be arrested in my presence for asking questions. I think that anyone who thinks that's okay is a truly dangerous person who should not have power.
I agree with you, except I don't think she ordered it. I think when
she launched it.
No, let me say something. I think in a way what happened is even more racist than that. Some palooka from the RCMP took it upon himself as a demonstration of initiative, precisely the kind of initiative you attributed to the people in stepping in tight uniforms. Many people, especially in the United States, still think of the RCMP as people in red tunics with a musical bride and, you know, Rose Marie with Nelson Eddy and so on singing in the Rockies here. But we saw in the MacDonald Commission inquiry after the imposition of the War Measures Act by the elder Trudeau in 1970, what an absolutely incompetent bunch of palookas the RCMP are. So some of the blame belongs on them.
I agree, but it's her security detail, and as someone, I know you spent a lot of your life with security around you, whatever, you just can't allow that. You just cannot allow people to behave that way.
We've had discussions in Calgary earlier today and last night, and I emerged as the optimist. I'm not.
And here is the beginning of the Chrystia Freeland mentions here.
And I know a lot about this because I knew Chrystia Freeland when she, was a journalist at the Financial Times, whose name shall forever live in infamy for employing her. And I remember even then thinking, this woman is not bright at all. But why does she have high self-esteem? I don't think I've ever even seen it's off this, I don't know what the self-esteem measurement scale is, the Richter scale. But her self-esteem was literally unassailable. It was bomb-proof. If a nuclear bomb dropped on your town, you could hide beneath Chrystia Freeland's self-esteem and live. There's like nothing you can do to shake it. Nothing. No amount of evidence of her stupidity and wrong decisions and idiotic views could dissuade her from the core belief that she was awesome and you were not. So I guess I shouldn't be totally shocked that she's helping to run and destroy your country. But she's doing it in her signature way. She's not getting on the CBC, her media outlet, which like almost all outlets in this wonderful oppressed country is run by the government. It's all state media. It's Albania 1985. And I'm sure we have people whose families are refugees from Albania. Welcome. And you know what I'm talking about. But at least you could say of the Albanian leader in 1985, Enver Hoxha, that when he went full fascist, he just didn't mince words. Shut up and obey or we'll shoot you. Chrystia Freeland is wise enough, clever enough, in her servant-like way, to make it all about your protection and safety. All about your protection and safety. No, we're just trying to help you. That's why you're in shackles. You're being arrested right now for your safety.
At least in a row where you've said that affordability and housing prices and inflation are sort of your key topics of conversation. A year later, at least with 3 cabinet retreats, Canadians don't seem to be buying whatever message you're selling on it. Why are Canadians not believing that your government has the solutions?
Last question.
You're right. This has been an incredibly challenging economic period. And it's one of the things we've spoken about. And I think all of us need to step back a little bit and look at the economic roller coaster our country and all of us have been through, adding an energy shock to that. As a result of these supply chain shocks, of the energy shock, we had high inflation. And then the next shoe to drop, I guess I have more shocks than I have shoes. But the next wave to hit was then high interest rates in response to high inflation. So I don't think it is at all surprising that Canadians are exhausted.
Not surprising at all that we're exhausted of this Freeland witch and everything she talks about. They brought it on purpose. The destruction of Canada, the mass immigration, the pricing, the mass inflation and the high interest rates are due to them counterfeiting billions of dollars, throwing fake money into the system that makes them rich on their ownings of private property and businesses and makes everybody else's actual dollar value purchasing power drop in half. 100,000 saved, what used to buy you 100,000 just 3 years ago, now only buys you $50,000.
We are aware of the court decision, We have discussed it with the Prime Minister, with cabinet colleagues, with senior federal government. We do not agree with this decision, and respectfully, we will be appealing it.
Appealing it with our tax dollars, the tax dollars used to destroy us, and then the tax dollars used to appeal it. Unbelievable.
In a servant-like way, to make it all about your protection and safety. All about your protection and safety. No, we're just trying to help you. That's why you're in shackles. You're being arrested right now for your safety. Oh, it's for the common good. Don't worry, you'll understand. I was going to say, Mrs. Freeland, can I go to the bathroom? No, you can't. And you can just imagine her taking great glee as your 4th grade self wet his pants in class, as Mrs. Freeland refuses to let you go to the bathroom. So that's kind of more diabolical than what we've seen in previous generations, and it's much more effective in a committedly polite country like Canada, because you don't know that it's happening. And because a demagogue like that, where you're completely bizarre, cross-dressing Prime Minister, it's true, Prime Minister blackface, I didn't wear blackface, he did. He 3 times, thank you, 3 times, and I want to thank you for your commitment to the fact. The Prime Minister, right, the Prime Minister.
He literally did wear it 3 times, like it's one of his favorite Halloween costumes or his party costumes.
Their attack on your rights, which is an attack on you and your children, is cloaked in the language of therapy, self-help, and compassion.
Anyways, guys, we'll go on to the main episode from Edmonton. We'll show a little bit of it, and then we'll do another episode of that.
Oh, I love it! Thank you for having me. I've never spoken in a cooler place in my life. I cannot believe I'm in a hockey arena in Edmonton, Canada in January. This is the coolest. My friend Theo Fleury is here, which kind of adds to the authenticity of it. Go Theo Fleury. Thank you. I am thrilled to be here. Alberta, that's exactly right. Al-Freakenberta, as we call it. I was so excited to be here that I actually called the CBC and I said, I'm in town, which they were aware of, and I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to talk to as many Canadians as possible. And we talked to a very nice guy. I think he's new there. And he's like, sure. And we called back, and we were speaking in Calgary earlier, and they had a CBC guy there. And I said, look, I would love to talk to the CBC. I'll answer any question you like, and I dare you to put it on TV. No. And I wasn't just outraged because there's a state media organization that's totally opposed to free speech, which is a little weird since the media should be the defenders of the things that, make their careers possible. But it also offended me personally because I feel like I have some ownership of the CBC, not because I'm a Canadian taxpayer, but because I am secretly, and I never reveal this part, Canadian. And I am. And I wouldn't say this, honestly, to an audience in Los Angeles or New York or Denver, because I don't want to be singled out, or treated differently. But it's actually true. My dad's family's from Nova Scotia. And we had a place in Nova Scotia my whole life until a few years ago when we sold it to a guy called Gerald Cotton, who mysteriously died sort of colitis in India with the keys to like $1 billion in Bitcoin. And the New York Times called me and suggested that I was in on his Bitcoin scam, which for the record, I'm not. But anyway, I have ties to this country, and I've spent a lot of my life coming here, and I just love it. And that's why I'm here. And I mean that. And I like...
Okay, guys, I got to end this video right now, get some chores done, and get ready for dirt biking, and we'll come back and watch the full Tucker Carlson Edmonton in the next video. So look for that on the Irnieracing YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe.
What are you doing, Ernie?
I'm adjusting my chain tension. Yeah.